The immortal jellyfish, Turritopsis dohrnii. Imagine you're at the end of your life. Your body is failing, your strength is gone, and the biological clock has run out. Now imagine simply deciding, no, in a flash of cellular defiance, you don't just heal, you revert. Your aged body collapses inward, not into dust, but into infancy. You are a child again, with a full life ahead of you, and no memory of the life you just left behind. You have not died. You have reset. This isn't science fiction. This is the daily reality of the Turritopsis dohrnii, the immortal jellyfish. When faced with stress, starvation, or old age, this tiny creature performs a biological miracle called transdifferentiation. It's a cellular coup. Its specialized cells, skin, nerves, muscles rebel against their assigned roles. They forget what they are and become something new. A skin cell can become a nerve cell. A muscle cell can become a sperm or egg cell. The entire organism melts back into a cyst, then grows into a polyp, the juvenile stage, and starts its life over. It doesn't just rewind the clock, it breaks the clock entirely. This isn't just regeneration. This is resurrection on demand. It can do this an infinite number of times. An adult jellyfish can live its life, be injured, and choose to be born again from its own dying flesh. But the price of this miracle is total amnesia. It retains no memory, no experience. It is a perfect biological ghost, haunting its own timeline, forever trapped in a loop of its own making. It is the ultimate escape artist, fleeing not from predators but from the consequence of its own existence. Of course, it can still be killed. A predator can eat it. A change in water chemistry can destroy it. It is not invincible, but the one enemy that gets us all time has no power over it. For the immortal jellyfish, aging is not a law of physics. It's a choice, and it always chooses to begin again. It is a life lived in silent, endless loops. The planarian flatworm. Imagine a creature where death is not an event, but a mathematical error. Meet the planarian flatworm. Take a scalpel to one of these simple organisms. Slice it in half lengthwise. You now have two. Cut it across the middle. You now have two more. Dice it into 100 pieces, and with enough time, you will be staring at 100 complete, identical, squirming worms, each one a perfect clone of the original, as if summoned from the void. You haven't killed it. You have forced it to multiply. You haven't created life. You have revealed that the original was never just one to begin with. The planarian's secret is a population of stem cells called neoblasts. They are the universe's ultimate biological toolkit. Think of them as a cellular army spread throughout the worm's body, constantly waiting for a command. When the worm is damaged, the neoblasts migrate to the site of the wound and become whatever is needed. Brain cells, skin, a digestive system, even a new head. And this is where it moves from fascinating to deeply unsettling. Our DNA is like a book that loses pages every time it's read. Our telomeres, the protective caps on our chromosomes, shorten with every cell division, a countdown to cellular death. The planarian's book magically reprints its own pages. Its telomeres never shorten. It simply doesn't age. But the most disturbing part isn't what it regrows, but what it remembers. In laboratory experiments, scientists trained a planarian to navigate a simple maze. They then decapitated it. The new head that grew back remembered the maze. The memory wasn't just stored in its brain. It was somehow encoded in its entire body, a blueprint of experience that survives total annihilation. It suggests that identity, for this creature, is not contained in a single mind, but is a pattern distributed across its very flesh. This creature's immortality isn't just about the flesh. It's an idea that cannot be killed. The hydra. In Greek mythology, the hydra was a multi-headed serpent that grew two heads for everyone that was severed. Forget the myth. The biological reality is far stranger and far more profound. The hydra is a tiny freshwater polyp, no bigger than a fingernail. It looks like nothing more than a simple tube with tentacles. But this humble creature is arguably the most perfect immortal we have ever discovered. Like the planarian, its body is packed with stem cells that constantly divide and replace old tissue. But the hydra's process is even more seamless. Its entire body is a factory of youth, churning out brand new parts so efficiently that it never accumulates damage. It is in a state of perpetual self-renewal. Where our cells carry the scars of time, a hydra's body is eternally pristine. Scientists have studied hydras in controlled environments for years, waiting for them to show any sign of aging. They never do. Their mortality rate remains constant, whether they are 1 day old or 1,000 years old. They don't get weaker. They don't become less fertile. They simply are. The process of aging is called senescence. It is the slow, inevitable decay of the body. It is rust. It is rot. It is the ticking clock inside every one of your cells. The hydra doesn't have that clock. It is biologically non-senescent. It exists in a state that defies the very concept of a lifespan. If left in a perfect environment, no predators, no starvation, no disease, a hydra could theoretically live until the sun engulfs the earth. In the lobster, you've heard the rumor lobsters are biologically immortal. It's a concept that's both fascinating and fundamentally misunderstood. Because for the lobster, immortality isn't a gift, it's a curse. Like the other creatures on this list, lobsters show negligible senescence. They don't get weaker with age. In fact, they get stronger. They continue to grow larger, more fertile, and more resilient for their entire lives. A 100-year-old lobster is a more formidable and virile creature than a 10-year-old one. The secret is an enzyme called telomerase. This enzyme rebuilds the telomeres at the ends of their chromosomes, effectively preventing the cellular aging that leads to decay and death in most animals, including us. Our bodies produce it, but the production dwindles as we age. A lobster's body never stops. So why isn't the ocean floor covered in car-sized ancient lobsters? Because their immortality is trapped within a mortal prison. To grow, a lobster must mold shed its exoskeleton and form a new, larger one. This is an incredibly stressful and energy-intensive process, a violent rebirth. As the lobster gets older and larger, its shell becomes thicker and heavier. The energy required to break free becomes immense. Eventually, the lobster reaches a point where it is no longer strong enough to escape its own armor. It dies from exhaustion, trapped inside the very shell that protected it. A perfect, tragic loop where the price of eternal youth is a death sentence written in its own shell. The ocean quahog, Ming the clam. Immortality isn't always about complex biological tricks. Sometimes it's about patience. Horrifying geological scale patience. In 2006, researchers dredging the ocean floor off the coast of Iceland pulled up an ocean quahog clam. It seemed unremarkable, just another clam. When they opened it to study its age by counting the growth rings on its shell like counting the rings of a tree, they made a staggering discovery. The clam was 507 years old. Nicknamed Ming, this creature was born in 1499. It was alive during the Renaissance, before Shakespeare wrote Hamlet, before the founding of the United States, before the Industrial Revolution. It sat silently on the cold, dark seafloor as the entire modern world was built above it. While humanity built empires and tore them down, Ming did nothing but filter water and add another near-invisible ring to its shell. The ocean quahog achieves this incredible longevity through a strategy of extreme minimalism. Its metabolism runs at a glacial pace. It grows incredibly slowly, and its cells have an unusually high resistance to oxidative stress, the cellular damage that causes aging in most organisms. It doesn't regenerate heads or reverse its life cycle. It simply endures. It is a living witness to half a millennium of history with no brain to process it, no eyes to see it. It is a stone that is alive. A biological time capsule whose story is written in the silent accretion of its own shell. Its long, quiet life was ended not by age or disease, but by the one thing it could never prepare for: human curiosity.